train tracks are just behind me there, and we're just about to have a coffee as usual. I hope you're having a good day or a good morning or a good evening wherever you are. Sorry about the changing light. My camera on my phone is a little bit sensitive to it. I hope you can hear me. Once you join in, let me know if you can hear me. My name's Matt. I've been living in Vietnam for 15 years, and this is my regular Sunday live stream that I've been doing since the beginning of the year. So the idea is for me to be able to get to know or build and get to know a community of people who are interested in Vietnam and my life here in Vietnam, and so that you can ask me any questions you have about my life in Vietnam. And we're at a little coffee shop here called Phuong Cafe. It's pretty nice and it's really popular. It's Sunday morning, about nearly 11 o'clock, so it's a very popular time for young Vietnamese to get out and get to the coffee shops and catch up with friends. So it was a little bit difficult to get a spot, and I have to sort of whisper a little bit. I don't want to be too annoying, so let me know in the chat if you can hear me okay. As I mentioned just before, there's an alleyway just behind me, but there's a little fence just there as well, and that's the train line, the railway line. That way goes into Saigon. The Saigon railway station isn't too far from here. It's probably a couple of kilometres away, if that. And in that direction there is heading sort of more north. So it's the only railway line apart from the metro that's in Saigon, and I'm here with Mel. I think you can see her in my glasses there. We're hoping that we're going to be able to see a train go past at some point soon. We haven't actually checked the timetable. I don't know why, but we'd planned to come here and do this live stream from this sort of location. I should have checked. I got a little bit distracted because I was finishing off my video fairly late into the afternoon, early evening yesterday, so I got a little bit distracted. Really nice little cafe soda. I don't know how much it was. Not too sure. 40,000 at Phuong Cafe in Phu Nhon. Sorry about the change in light. It's funny light at the moment, and I'm outside. Hopefully you can hear me okay. There's quite a few people here, and I've got a fan, not a YouTube fan, a literal fan, running beside me, so it might be a little bit noisy. So feel free to ask some questions in the chat. I can't actually see the questions coming up. Can you just drop one in there, Mel? So yeah, it's been a fairly busy week for me. As I mentioned, I just posted another video last night, and it's about the things that you shouldn't do or don't do when you come to Saigon. And it's for people who are very keen on coming to Vietnam to either travel. Okay, cool. I've got your comment there, Mel. That's cool. People who are interested in Vietnam to either come here to travel or to come here and work and live. And I just mentioned at the beginning of the live stream that I've been living here for 15 years, so I've got a fairly good idea of what life's like in Vietnam, at least in Ho Chi Minh City, because I've spent all of the 15 years in Saigon. And the first year that I lived here, I lived in Chinatown, which was a big challenge. And then the other 14 years in District 7, which is about 7 kilometres or so outside, or from District 1. Sorry, got a little bit of a breeze. We've had unusual weather in Saigon this year, actually, and it's quite overcast and a little bit breezy today. Hi, music. How are you? Where are you coming from? Let me know. Where are you watching from? But yeah, this coffee is pretty good. If you're familiar with Vietnamese coffee, you'll know this one. It's a Café Suda, and 40,000, probably a little bit more expensive than on the street. Sorry.
They've got really nice coffee too, like with little.
Yeah, and it's a really nice location. I would turn the camera around, but there's quite a few people here, and I don't really want to make them feel uncomfortable. Hi, music. Oh, you're from Vietnam. Where in Vietnam are you from? Okay, I'm just getting a better stand for my camera. So as I mentioned earlier, there's a train line just behind me there, and that's going that way is into the Saigon railway station, which is a couple of kilometres away, and we're hoping that we might get a train at some point, so you might be able to see that.
I'll try to look through the schedule, or if somebody knows.
Yeah, if anyone knows the schedule, I forgot to look it up. I forgot to look up the train schedule for today, so if you can do that for me and let me know, please do that. You might be a little bit... you might be forgiven for thinking that I'm into trains. I'm not really. I'm not that into trains at all. It's just I've been trying to come up with different locations to feature when I do a live stream. So Mel, my wife, she came up with this one. And it's a pretty good one, and it's a really cool little alleyway as well. So if you're looking for somewhere off the beaten track, a little bit in Saigon, I recommend it. Once the live stream's done, I'll put a link to the map and the location of this coffee shop for you to check out if you want to. So it's a little bit out of the way, but it's really worth it, and it's very local. So if you're into local coffee shops and local places to eat and to mingle with obviously local people, then I recommend it if you can get here. You should be able to get a grab bike or something pretty easily. So yeah, drop your questions, any questions that you have about my life in Vietnam in the chat, or if you're watching this after the live, feel free to ask some questions, and I'll get back to you at some point. Sorry about the varying light. This is the best I can do today for you. So yeah, we're looking to find out if there is an actual train today around lunchtime. We're getting towards lunchtime. I think it's 11:30. 11 o'clock, is it? Yeah, so there might be one a little bit later. So we'll try and hang on for a little while to see if we can bring you a train. It's not exactly like Hanoi Train Street, is it? But, you know, you can't have everything. Let me know if you've been to Hanoi Train Street and what it was like. Have you been, Mel?
No.
Yeah, I went
I feel safer here though.
I went a couple of years ago, and again, I didn't check the train schedule before I went, and I didn't see a train, so it was a little bit of a, a bit of a bummer, that one. I'm not too far, not too sure how far I can walk to show. I might just show you a bit more of the place here. Hopefully the internet doesn't drop out. If it drops out, just please hang on for a bit. There's Mel. And this is the coffee shop here. It's quite a nice little club. And then this is the alleyway. Just here. Sorry, the light again. The light isn't great for this camera, but this is the train line along here. Little alleyway down here. So there's more places to eat, and in this direction is the Saigon railway station, which is about 1 kilometre away, I guess. Maybe no, it wouldn't be 2 kilometres, maybe a kilometre and a bit away, not too far. So it's a very interesting area. Music. What's the street like? Do you mean this particular street here? It's a busy little street, but very interesting. And this street runs all the way alongside the Saigon railway station, and as you get further towards the railway station, there's a really interesting community there which is worth checking out. So, for travellers who are travelling by train, and I hope, sorry, it's windy. I hope you can hear me okay. For travellers who like travelling by train, and they have a little bit of time and they're stuck at Saigon railway station, it might be worth actually just sort of leaving the precinct there and going adjacent to it, along the wall there at the railway station. And there's a great little community there and lots of food, and you can stock up on all your sort of snacks and stuff like that. Rabid Dog. Love the name, Rabid Dog. Are you strictly a Robusta, or do you miss good Arabica from Oz? No, actually, I'm pretty much strictly Arabica. I can get plenty of Arabica here to suit me, which is good. There's a couple of coffee shops that I prefer, but when I come to coffee shops like this, I don't know if you can see behind me very well, they typically serve Robusta. So usually when I order a Café Suda, I don't really ask for any sort of preference of bean or anything like that. I just generally take what I can get. But at home, I've got a big bag of Arabica from Dalat. Arabica washed. I don't know what washed means. Maybe you can tell me what that means, but it's pretty good. I've got my supply and I'm pretty happy with it, so that's good. But yeah, I'm not huge on Robusta. It's a little bit earthy for me. I think that's the best way for me to describe it. So lots of traffic on a Sunday morning coming through here. The alleyway is called Allleyway, I think. Allleyway Street. I think in that direction up there from memory. And sorry for moving the camera a bit quickly, but as I mentioned before, the railway station's in that direction. But before you get to that is like Huangsha and Zhongsha, which is another great area, especially if you're a motorbike rider. It's a great little place to take your bike on a Sunday or whenever you've got a bit of free time. Rabid Dog, it's from Dalat too. Yeah, I've got plenty of my coffee from Dulles, which is cool, and it's very accessible in Saigon these days, which is really good. There's some great places to get good coffees, and as you know, Rabbit Dog, I'm from Australia, as you've already guessed, and you know, we tend to love our coffee, we love our lattes, and there's a lot of cafes now in Saigon where you can get a really good quality cafe latte, as they say here. Music, what your name? My name's Matt. My name's Matt. Rabbit Dog, I find the Arabica coffee shops a bit exy. Yeah, you're right. You're definitely right. I mean, it's like most things here, as soon as you start going for the finer things and or the Western sort of style of things, expenses rack up pretty quickly, so prices go up. Sorry, I thought I saw the train coming. There's someone with lights on. Yeah, as soon as you have those sort of finer things, things get a little bit expensive. Rabbit Dog, I'm from Brisbane too. Okay, cool. I'm not actually from Brisbane. I'm not born and bred. But I lived in Brisbane for about 10 years. And I was living in Brisbane before I came to live in Saigon. I'm actually from northern Victoria. So I might be kind of like the enemy to you in a little, to a certain extent. But I sort of count myself as a bit of a token Queenslander, especially when the state of origin is on. Go Queenslander. Oh, right, you're a Pom. Oh, okay. Oh, well, you're definitely the enemy then. And especially after last night, I missed the game, but I think Australia played England in the cricket, didn't they, in the one-dayer, and it turned out to be a good game. I missed it. Sorry about that, I just lost connection. Cricket, is that even a sport? Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. I think that's data herder. Cricket, is that even a sport? Well, look, you're probably gonna have a bit of a laugh, but I'm right into Test cricket. I'm not really into the short versions of the game. I love Test cricket, so it is a sport, and I think the Aussies are the best at it, aren't they? Okay, music, bye. Thanks for joining. Rabbit Dog, okay, you have Australian kids. Okay, cool. Isn't cricket big? Data hoarder, isn't cricket bigger in India or in England? It's definitely bigger in India. India's massive. It's massive in India. And actually, I went to India on a trip about over 10 years ago. I went to Delhi, New Delhi, and Mumbai, and plenty of other places in between, and I played plenty of street cricket. It was actually really good because in Australia, street cricket has kind of died off. Kids don't seem to play cricket anymore. I think they're indoors playing computer games, so it was really good to go to India and play. There were cricket balls and tennis balls flying around everywhere, but it was a bit of fun. I really enjoyed it. I don't know about I don't know if cricket's more popular in England these days than in Australia. I don't know, but cricket seems to be making a little bit of a resurgence. There's cricket teams here too in Saigon. There's a league, but I don't play. I'm not much of a cricketer. I like watching. I prefer to sit on the couch. But yeah, for the guys who have just joined, this place is called Phuong. I don't know if you can see that. It'll be back to front anyway. So it's pretty nice. It's a nice little spot here. And as I mentioned earlier, we're sitting... Mel's just showing me something. Oh, cats. A couple of cats. Yeah, we're sitting in this nice little coffee shop here called Phuong, and there's quite a few along this little alleyway here, and behind me is the railway line. Okay, data hoarder. So I'm new to your stream. Yes, I'm in Vietnam. I'm in Ho Chi Minh City. Do you live there? Yes, I've been living here for 15 years. So my channel is about my life here in Vietnam. So I'm trying to bring videos and content to people like you to learn a bit more about Vietnam and a bit more about me, I suppose. Yeah. If so, of all the southern Asian places to go, why did you choose Vietnam? Oh, that's a good question. The first time I came to Vietnam, sorry, I'm a bit worried about this light that keeps changing. The first time I came to Vietnam was back in, I think it was 1999. Yeah, time's getting on a little bit. I was living in Japan at the time, and I came over here, this area, Southeast Asia, for a 3-week holiday. I was backpacking, and I flew into Bangkok from Tokyo, did a little bit of Thailand, went over into Laos, and then flew to Hanoi. And then I think I spent a couple of weeks here from memory, and I bought one of those, they're like a hop-on, hop-off bus ticket that you can buy. At that time, I don't know if you can still do it, but you could buy a ticket in Hanoi, and then it was valid for a month or something like that, and you could get on and get off and stuff like that. So I spent 2 weeks here and I really enjoyed it. Traveling here at that time was pretty tough, and the tourism industry was in its infancy, so you know, there weren't many things off the main tourist trail that you could do or were allowed to do. And then I went back to Australia, spent another year back in Japan, and then for most of the 2000s I lived in Brisbane, and I was teaching at a couple of schools there. The last one that I taught at was at Griffith University, if you're familiar with that. I was teaching on the English program there, and I'd got to a point in 2009 where my career, I didn't want to move into management, and my career had sort of reached its limit in that sense for my experience and qualifications. So I was keen to live overseas again, and then I saw that RMIT, which is an Australian university, Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology, had a campus here in Saigon. So I contacted them and asked them how I could get a job with them. So I contacted their HR department, and within about 2 months, I was here. It was just, that's the way my life was at that point in time. I didn't have kids. I didn't have any sort of financial commitments keeping me in Australia. And so I just went for it. And at that time, I was 35. So I sort of decided that I had to act quickly because I was getting a little bit older, and it might have been my last opportunity to sort of live overseas for an extended period of time, and I've been here ever since. So that's it in a basic nutshell. And I've stayed here because I like it. I really enjoy it. I think videos on why. I think I did one a couple of weeks ago. You might be able to find that. I think I talk about what keeps me here in Vietnam, and my wife's Filipino, so she's not too far from home. It's only a couple of hours to Manila. Her hometown is Manila, so we get back there maybe once a year or once every couple of years, once every 18 months or so. Data hoarder, why not the Philippines? That's a good question. Look, never say never, but how can I say this? I mean, my wife has a really good job here, and it's probably a job that she wouldn't be able to get back in the Philippines, basically due to availability of that particular job. and also at the pay scale that she gets here. As you probably know, a large proportion of the Filipino population work overseas as OFWs, so there's not a lot of work there. She's my age as well, so we're both sort of getting into that age group where it's a little bit more difficult to get employed, I think, even though we have a lot of experience and qualifications and stuff like that. But we just went to the Philippines for Christmas, actually. We were there for a couple of weeks, and we tend to go there most Christmases each year, every year. And I think it's fair to say that each time we go back, we've sort of noticed a bit of a, what's the word?
Decline.
A little, yeah, I didn't want to use, Mel has just said decline. A decline in the Philippines. I don't want to be too harsh. I mean, I love the Philippines and I love the people and I love everything about it. But in terms of work, the options here are especially better for Mel here. So, data hoarder. Yeah, I'm asking you to introduce. Yep, okay, sure. I hope I've given you enough information for now without being too boring. Rabbit Dog, my daughter did her nursing degree at Griffith. Okay, cool, yeah. I did my undergraduate degree at Griffith University. I did a Bachelor of Arts in Languages and Applied Linguistics, and at that time I was studying Japanese, so that's part of the reason why I lived in Japan for a little while, and I was lucky enough to get a scholarship back in 2002 and studied at a Japanese university there for a year, which was really cool. Yeah.
Vu says hi.
Vu? Oh, hi Vu, how are you? I'm good. Yeah. Just having a coffee.
So young people in Vietnam, either they have coffee in the morning or they play sports.
Yeah.
Cricket? No, trendy sports in Vietnam.
I'll just give you another little view of the cafe. So they've got the ground floor. I'm not sure. Oh, they've got a little mezzanine area up there as well. It's really quite nice.
They've got two cats.
And a couple of cats, Mel says. But I don't really want to walk around in there and put the camera in people's faces and stuff like that. Vu? I'm good as well, just counting down the days till I fly over to Vietnam. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I can understand that. Actually, on my video that I uploaded last night, a young bloke from Australia, I think his name's Darren, he told me that he's excited about moving to Vietnam in March, and he's moving to Cam Ranh. So he was pretty excited to tell me that. Okay, March the 30th. Don't forget the bullets, if you can. The bullets and the, what did I say? The licorice all sorts. If you can. No stress, no stress. Yeah, I'm just constantly trying to work out the lighting. It's because it's light out the back. My camera keeps focusing on that. Okay, Boo. Yeah, nice. Thank you. That'd be great. And then we'll go and eat at that. What was it? Hoo Tieu place? Yeah. Oh, Rabbit Dog. I've retired in Saigon. Nice. This is my 3rd year. Okay, cool. Which district are you in? And have you got any tips for retirees living in Saigon? Because I might need some tips in the. Oh yeah, Bang Kang Gur. Okay. Rabbit Dog D1. Okay, nice. In the thick of things, makes it convenient. Do you get around on a motorbike or?
Get a hobby.
I'll get a hobby. Yeah, get a hobby is a good idea. I think. I guess hobbies keep you out of the pub, right?
We should try pickleball.
At the moment, grab only. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. There's nothing wrong with that. We came by motorbike today, but my motorbike's an XR, so it's a little bit wide, and down this alleyway it's a bit tricky. I'm expecting to lose my mirrors at any point. Kevin, Kevin, I saw you in the comments section of my video. Do you speak Vietnamese? Yeah, I speak a little bit. As I tell everyone, it's an ongoing project, my Vietnamese. It goes like my views on YouTube, up and down, up and down. And it also depends on who I'm talking to. And sometimes I get people I talk to who are very, patient with me. They're very patient and they'll try to help me. And then other times there are people who they're like, I can't deal with this guy speaking really bad Vietnamese. But I'm working on it, and every day I try to do a little bit. But it's not enough. Here, I'm making excuses already, aren't I? But it's the one thing that I really want to improve on. Rabbit dog, I don't miss my car. Me too. One of my major goals when I moved to Vietnam was to never own a car again, and that's the one goal that I've managed to be successful with at the moment. I'd be pretty happy to never have a car again. Motorbikes is another thing. I've got a thing for motorbikes, so hopefully the one I've got now isn't the last motorbike that I ever have. I need to go to Bui Vinh Street during the day. No, yes. I thought that was rain for a minute. Sorry, there's a fan over there that's caught a leaf. Actually, I was talking to someone about this the other day. He said to me, we should go to Bui Vinh for a night out one night. And I said, that makes me shiver just thinking about it. It's changed a lot. Even during the day, you'll be surprised when you drive down there during the day. It's everything, not everything, but most of the places are big clubs now, and they're black. They're painted black. So during the day, it has this sort of dark, seedy feel about it. I don't know, there's nothing really redeeming about it, except for there's a few little alleyways off Bui Vinh Street and Pham Nhu Lao Street. And Vu, you might be interested, there's a place called Saigon Jane, and they sell t-shirts. They make sort of, what are they? They're not mass-produced t-shirts. They're tees that have Saigon sort of things on them and stuff like that, and they're quite unique. They're a little bit more expensive. They're much more expensive than Ben Thanh Market. Although Ben Thanh Market can be quite expensive if you can't bargain them down. But anyway, Vu, I think you can do Bui Vinh by yourself when you come here. I'm not that keen on going there, to be honest. I used to spend a lot of time there when I was a bit younger, when there weren't that many places to go out. Kevin Jun, I love to see foreigners speaking Vietnamese. Yeah, it is good, and big respect to any of the foreigners out there who can speak Vietnamese, and not only that, can speak it to camera as well. It's hard enough to do this sort of stuff in your native language, let alone doing it in Vietnamese. But I have done a few little videos where I speak Vietnamese in them. But I'm currently doing the style of videos that I'm doing because I decided that I needed to bring there's something a little bit different to the table with my content. There's there's quite a few foreigners, or there's a few foreigners out there who speak Vietnamese well, and do videos about it. I've just got a little note slid across to me. What was I going to say about it? Oh, and also there's a lot of foreigners, aka white guys, who do food videos and stuff like that, and they do it much better than me. So I needed to think about what I could do that was a bit more unique, and so hence why you'll see a little bit of a change in my content over the past month or so. And it seems to be going okay, you know. And also the guys who are doing that kind of content better than me, they're also about 20 years younger, you know, so they tend to appeal to the bigger audience that's younger, so that's very helpful for them. So I'm just trying to well, obviously do the best I can, but do stuff that other people can't do, and my little hook is that I've been living here for 15 years. My next level, Kevin, would be to do a lot more Vietnamese language content, so it might draw in some of those Vietnamese speakers like yourself who enjoy watching foreigners speak Vietnamese. So Mel's just brought some notes over for me. She's talking about Bui Diem Street. Expensive cocktails, and be careful about food poisoning or alcohol poisoning as well. Drinks in Bui Diem Street. USP. Yeah, that's it. Bit of marketing speak there. USP. My USP, my unique selling proposition is that I've been here for quite a while, and you know, I guess I have a fair bit of knowledge about Vietnam, especially Ho Chi Minh City. Okay, so Rabbit Dog, I study online. Yeah, okay. Rabbit Dog, who do you study with? I'd be interested to know, and whether it's, you know, good or not. Vu, I need to get a painting done. Well, actually, what sort of painting? Because there's still a painting street. And the painting street is near the Hotel Equatorial in District 5. It's on the border of District 5 and District 10. And it's on one of the sides of on the District 5 side of the Hotel Equatorial. And there's a whole strip along there where you can get paintings done, and they do framing and all that sort of stuff. Kind of like that old school, like the old days where you had the streets that specialised in, you know, just one thing. It's still there. Rabbit Dog, Bui Diem is okay if you are smart and have a place. Yeah, you don't want to get caught in no man's land in places like that and wondering where to go and just be a sitting duck for people. So yeah, if you've got your favourite haunt, and I think Rabbit Dog, some of the older blokes, they'll hang out around the sort of alleyways and stuff in the area, which is, you know, it's always been a really good spot to have a cheap beer and just watch the world go by. I just need a drink. My throat's getting a bit raspy. Cool. I'm not going to the clubs. Well, I don't know how long since you've been here, Vu, but the whole street these days is like a big club. You know, and Saturday and Sunday, Friday, Saturday night, it becomes a walking street, so they close it to traffic. And so, you know, there's just people everywhere, lights, massive sound systems and stuff like that. Vu, like Saigonese ones. I'm not too sure what you're talking about. Saigonese paintings, or let me know. Kevin Jun, do you mind telling us your age? Are you retired? What do you do for a living? No, I'm not retired. I don't think I'll ever retire, to be honest. I'm 50. I'm 51 in April, actually. I have a small marketing business. So I do a little bit of content for the hospitality, travel and hospitality industry and stuff like that. I'm also trying to grow this YouTube channel with the view of potentially doing something in travel between Australia and Vietnam in the future. Kevin, I used to... Okay, so a little bit of context. So I worked at RMIT for 5 years, in my first 5 years here. Then after I left that, I think I turned about 40 at that point. And I decided I wanted to do something different. So eventually I wound up at an English language magazine, and I became their editor, their managing editor at that magazine. And that was during the time when, especially in Vietnam, print media and social media was sort of going through that change. And the magazine that I worked for didn't really have a great online presence. They didn't do videos. I don't know if they had a YouTube channel at that point. And then eventually, sort of just before the pandemic, I left that and I decided to do my own thing. And I had the crazy idea, sorry, the wind's coming up, I hope you can hear me. I had the crazy idea to teach myself how to build a website and do my own content, written content. So I started a website called thebureauasia.com, so you can check that out if you like. There's also a Facebook group as well. It's called the Bureau Asia Group, and most of the content was about F&B, travel, sort of lifestyle stuff and all that. But I wish I'd got into video earlier. I didn't get into video at that time because I just thought it was too big of a leap for me at that time. I taught myself to build a website. Well, I don't do coding, but I got myself a domain, and I got myself a WordPress account, and everything you see on that website, thebureauasia.com, is basically what I did. I also had some help from friends who are photographers, so any of the photos that look really pro, they're not mine, but they're from my photographer friends. So yeah, that's taken a little bit of a back seat recently as I've decided to give this YouTube channel a go, and to, as I tell people, give it a chance to breathe, and to put more content on it, and more content that, even though it sounds a bit cliched, adds value to people, doesn't waste their time, they get some takeaways from it. So like this live stream, hopefully you're getting some good takeaways from it. I hope that answers your question, Kevin. Vu, I speak it, but spelling is my default. Vietnamese, I'm guessing, yeah. Yeah, well, the tones, you know, like it's one thing to be able to speak and use the tones correctly, but also in writing as well. I've got a young Vietnamese mate who's taken on the unenviable task of helping me with my Vietnamese, and I was saying to him the other day that, you know, the tones are tricky, and even when reading, they're very tricky. For example, like bang, like bangai, bang chai, and sal, and then table, all spelt the same way, have different tones, you know, so it just drives me mental. So that would be my tip for anyone trying to improve their Vietnamese, is to really take note of those tones and how they're written. Vu, age is just a number. Someone said that to me the other day, and there's a constant with that, and that is that anyone who says that to me is younger than me. So they don't, which is actually a lot of people these days, but the people who usually say it are younger. And yeah, they haven't felt the effects of age just yet. So I appreciate what you're trying to say, and you're trying to pump me up. But yeah, it's never an old person that says age is just a number. Kevin, we're same age. I hope to retire in Vietnam in about 4 years. Okay, cool. Very good. Very good. Oh, t-shirts you were talking about. Yeah, the t-shirts at Saigon Jane, I think that's what you're referring to. Yeah, they're all made here. The shop, it's a very small shop. It's like a little boutique shop, and it's owned by a foreign dude from Europe, I think, and his Vietnamese wife. And so they have sort of limited numbers of particular designs and stuff like that. So they're kind of unique. At least you know that when you get on the plane to go back home, you're not getting on the plane with a whole bunch of people with bar 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 on their t-shirt or something like that. Oh, thanks, Rabbit Dog. You just followed my IG. Cool. Thank you for that. No worries. I don't spend a lot of time on Instagram these days. I know it's really popular here, and Facebook, but it just sort of tends to suck up a lot of my time and energy if I get buried into it. But I've been fairly regularly posting reels. I find that reels on my Matt Cowan Saigon Instagram account is quite good, and I have a good mix of different people who look at it. So meaning sort of old friends from school to new friends in Vietnam. So it's good for that. Vu, I hope you make a video about transportation options out of the airport instead of catching a taxi. Oh yeah, well my best tip right now is for you to make sure you've got the Grab app downloaded on your phone. So you can do that in Australia if you haven't got it already. Because once you come over into the country, it flicks over into the VN app anyway. I think in order to set up the account, do you need to have your credit card? Yeah, I don't think you need to have your credit card details in the Grab app, because you can still pay cash. There's a little button on the app and you just press cash. And the best tip that I can give for when you come out of the international airport, what do you call it, arrival doors, through the throng of people waiting, is veer left. I know I'm doing that on the camera, it's going right for you on this camera, but when you come out the doors, veer left, and there's a sign right near the street, the street that runs adjacent to the doors, and it doesn't say Grab, but it says something like ride hailing technology services or something like that. And it's a little, I don't know, it's like a little street sign. It's really quite hard to see. So you're going to have to fight your way through the touts and all the dodgy taxi drivers and all that sort of stuff. You know, all those guys who seem to be able to still get into the precinct. And then cross the street, and then eventually you'll see a little, I don't know if it's a Grab sign. The Grab drivers aren't technically allowed to come in and park. So you book your ride and then just follow them on the map, of course, and they'll have to come into the parking area, and then you do what you usually do. And you'll find the guy, but it's a bit of a schmozzle, you know. It's not really so much a designated space. Just look for small signs that don't necessarily say Grab. Although I think the one out near the car park says Grab, I think, from memory. But once you're in, you're fine. You're right. You're not at the mercy of those shysters, those fake taxi drivers. Yeah. But Vu, anytime you can hit me up or ask questions here on the live stream, which I'd probably prefer, about transport. Definitely. We took a ride on the metro recently, which was really cool. It was cool. Great if you live in District 2, I think, and District 1. Maybe Rabbit Dog can tell you a little bit more about that. Maybe he accesses that. But I can imagine that if you lived in District 1 and you wanted to go out to a restaurant or a bar in District 2, for example, might be a nice option to take the train. Rabbit Dog, the Grab app will tell you exactly where to go. Yeah, that's right. Right, okay, that's a good tip. So it'll tell you where the meeting point is, I guess, is what you mean, Rabbit Dog, right? Next chapter, Nomad. Hey, Matt, Darren here. Oh, hi, Darren. I just mentioned you. Yeah. I mentioned that you're moving to Kanta pretty soon, which is really exciting. Thanks for joining the live stream. I was just telling people that I'm in a cafe here in Funyang district. It's a tricky one to pronounce for me. And behind us is a train. That's the train line there. Saigon railway station is about a kilometre that way, and then somewhere north is that way. So yeah, we were hoping there might be a train come by at some point, but we didn't check the schedule. Vu, thank you kindly. Yeah, no worries at all. Yeah, hit me up whenever you want. I'm not sure if I'll do videos on transportation as such. I don't know. I don't really know yet. I'm not that forward thinking. Hi Darren. Next chapter, Nomad. Hope we can have a beer sometime. Yeah, for sure. No worries. Let me know when you get here. Just give me, a little bit of time in advance, and we can catch up and have a beer, and you can tell me about your plans for Kanta. I'm pretty keen to get down around there, maybe in April or something like that, time permitting. I've got an XR 150, so it's really good in the Mekong. It's not so good here in this little alleyway, but the XR's great in the Mekong, so hopefully I'll get down around there as well too in the next few months. Rabbit Dog, there are plenty of vids on YouTube about Saigon Airport. Yeah, that's a really good point too. So sort of content that I find difficult to replicate or to compete with, so you might be better off checking that out. That's a good point, Rabbit Dog. Next chapter, Nomad. Sounds good. Yeah, keep in touch for sure. No problems at all. And next chapter, Nomad. Darren, I'll call you Darren. What was I going to say? Oh, it'd be great if you could... I'm having trouble reaching into Australian viewers, of all people. I don't seem to get a lot of traction at all. I never have on any of my platforms, so I don't know, if you get a chance at some point, share it with a friend over there, maybe something will happen. Next chapter, Nomad. I love bikes, but not allowed a bike license. Yeah, if you haven't got a TRC, which is a temporary resident card, Aussies can't get one in Vietnam unless you have a TRC, which I've got, and I have a motorcycle license in Australia, so all I did was just sort of transfer it or get it translated and all that sort of stuff. And
take a test.
No, I didn't even have to take a test. If you've got an Australian, you need to get married. I think it's a fairly good chance you will, judging by what you've been saying about Vietnam. So, yeah, that's always an option. Actually, my wife and I got married here. Mel, my wife, she's Filipino, and we got married here 2.5 years ago. We decided to get married here, and the process wasn't that bad, actually. It wasn't too cumbersome or drawn out at all. So yeah, it'll be something to look into. But going back to licenses, things have changed a little bit as well. My Australian license is due for renewal in April. So my Vietnamese license is tied to that. So when my Aussie one expires, my Vietnam one expires. And it's been about 5 years or something. So I've got to get my Aussie one renewed, which I should be getting notified about pretty soon, and then I'll go and get my Vietnamese license done. But I hear, and like I mentioned in my latest video, I hear that, and Rabid Dog, you might be able to answer this one. The police stations are handling motorbike driver licenses now, I've heard. So for some reason, the what do you call it? The traffic department, the Department of Traffic or Transport or whatever, is not handling those. So sorry about the breeze if it's hurting the audio. The other thing, next chapter, Nomad. I went to SA and got a 10-year license. I was told the police are doing DL as well. Yeah, in Vietnam. Yeah, Rabbit Dog. I've heard here there is a transition that way for licenses. Yeah, that's what I've heard too. So it seems like that's the case. And there's a company here. They rent out motorcycles. There's one in District 7 and there's one in District... is it District 2? They're called DC Motorcycles, and they do licensing. And I saw on their Facebook page the other day that there's been a freeze on them doing licensing until they get more information. Because up until now, really, if you've got a TRC, I think it's only for people with a TRC. You could do a test and get a lifetime driver's license, which I didn't believe at first, but yeah, you can get a lifetime driver's license. So I think that'll be my next move. Once I've renewed this time round, I'm going to look into getting a lifetime driver's license in case I do leave Vietnam someday and then I want to come back and drive. Boo, I'm too scared to ride by myself on a motorcycle. Okay. That's fair enough too. Fair enough. No worries at all. I think plenty of people are like that. It's completely valid because there's some crazy shit that goes on the roads. Oops. Put some flowers in my coffee. Mel, be safe. Don't drive without a license and don't drive without health insurance. Yeah. Yeah, that's yep. Very timely. Rabbit Dog, the license used to be only as long as your visa. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yep. I think in one of my recent videos I put up a screenshot of the Geneva Convention about international driving permits, and it was ratified in like 1968 or something. And for whatever reason, Australia hasn't signed it. Australia's not a signatory to that particular document. And I guess it won't be until there's a groundswell of people probably that might be able to change it. So, I mean, that would just solve a lot of problems. Cool. Grab is cheap. Yeah, that's right. Grab is super cheap. Yep. Especially cars as well. I mean, if you're a bit scared of riding on a motorbike, going on a car is, you know, no drama. It's not too expensive at all. Actually, Grab just reminds me of how much we used to get ripped off. I've lived in D7 for a long time, of course, and it's about 3 to 5 kilometres to District 1. And back in the day, we were paying 60,000, 70,000 with a Saigon to get into town, and now it's, I don't know, it's half that, you know. Well, I've been going for about an hour and there's no train. There's no train, so I can't excite you with a train. And we're going to go off and meet a friend of mine. He's an English guy. He usually watches this live stream actually, but he went out last night, so he might be a bit sleepy. He mightn't be in this one today, but he's married to a local lady from Nha and he's currently living in Nha and he came down to Saigon on Friday to watch the wrestling. The what do you call it? The WWF wrestling or whatever they call it. So we're going to go and catch up with him, and I'll get the lowdown on what life's like in Nha from him. So I might talk about Nha a little bit next week in the live stream. We're going to go and have a burger as well. So we might review the burger as well. So don't forget next week. There'll be a live stream next week as well, so keep an eye out for it. If you've got any questions, save them up for the live stream and I'll do my best to answer them. So that's about it. Thanks for joining in, you guys, and thanks for all the questions. I hope I've answered them sufficiently. And Darren, yes, see you in Saigon. Keep me up to date with how you're going, and as I mentioned before, yeah, let me know in advance. Okay, guys, see you next week.